Hi, my name is Phil. I like to talk about politics. In this video, I'd like to discuss why it is that the temporary hospital that was set up specifically to deal with overflow of coronavirus patients is not seeing its capacity being used. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, then please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So for this video, I'm going to refer to a comment that appeared on one of my videos recently. I normally do this on the political post box each week, but this one was one that had been playing on my mind. Now, this is someone and that represents the reason why the government are getting away with killing lots and lots of people unnecessarily as a result of this pandemic. And I'm going to read it out to you before I explain exactly what is wrong with it and the thinking behind it. So it says, right, the NHS hasn't been swamped or overstretched. It's short of PPE, they accept that, but then so are most, if not all of the nations struggling with this virus. That is incorrect. That's because everyone wants it all at the same time, and it's not just produced in those numbers in normal times. No, but before I go on to this, PPE is actually quite simple. We're not talking about a Rolls-Royce engine. You can have companies that don't normally produce it, and you can have companies that do normally produce it, expand their facilities to produce more of it, and that is what is happening. This is not happening across the world. There is extra demand across the world, but there is also extra supply, because you know what? There's a load of manufacturers at the moment who can make it that aren't really shifting much of their normal stock, and they've just repurposed themselves to make more of it. That is happening, and other countries are getting this PPE. In fact, that procurement scheme that we decided not to get involved in with the EU has just delivered a load of PPE to those nations as well. We have at least one NHS trust in this country that has contacted the BBC to say, at the point at which I'm recording this, they have 24-hour supplies left of gowns. That's it, 24 hours. They were told about a company called Burberry, it normally makes coats in this country, that they are making gowns and stuff like that. And they asked the BBC if they could put them into contact with them because they urgently need them right now. This is not happening in other countries. In other countries, they've had to increase massively their sourcing of this stuff, but companies around the world have stepped up to the challenge and made more of them, or if they weren't making them, they were making them now. So that's a nonsense. Anyway, next one. The Nightingale hospitals, just one, are hardly being used at all. So that's another indicator of just how well this is being handled, with their spare capacity being provided through government planning and financing. In short, this has actually been very well handled by the government. Now, you can read the rest yourself. I'm not going to go on much further because this is the point I want to go. So this is the thinking. We've got this hospital and it's been set up, and it's designed to have 2,900 intensive care beds, specifically to deal with the overflow from other hospitals for coronavirus patients. Very few of them are being used at the moment. This person is looking at that and going, oh, well, there isn't the need. This is a lack of critical thinking, because here's the situation. We have had, that we know of, 1,400 people dying in care homes of the coronavirus. And that's official figures. That is the official figures that the government do not deny. They're not being counted on the official death figures, by the way. When you look each day about the number of people who died in the UK, they're not counted on that. They're not official enough to be official. But they are official enough for the government to say, yeah, we accept that. And this was a few days ago, actually, it'll be more now. 1,400 have died in care homes. The real number is believed to be many thousands more, because the government are not allowing anyone to be classed as having died of the coronavirus unless they have had a test, and they are not allowing people to be tested. You're only allowed a test if you're in hospital. The other thing that they've been doing is discharging coronavirus patients from hospital before they're better. Now, why would you ever do that? Why would you do that? The reason is very simple. Is you don't count people who are dying in care homes. You now make it more difficult to even be classed as dying of coronavirus, because you're saying to coroners, don't say that they've died of COVID-19 unless they've had a test, and we're not going to give you a test to say whether they have or they have not. So it makes the figures much lower. You discharge people from hospital because the government, all of its measures have not been designed to save lives. They have been designed to stop the NHS melting down. They want people to believe what this person believes. Oh, look, the NHS hasn't melted down. In fact, we built this new hospital, this temporary hospital, specifically to take overflow, and it's not needed. We don't need it. It's specifically designed to fool the gullible into thinking that the government is handling it. The reality is it's killing thousands of people unnecessarily. And this is the problem that we have. You know, what I don't understand from the government's point of view is, although this sort of data fiddling is going to work on the general population, it will work to a certain extent. What happens to people who believe this and then suddenly their granny dies, and they know that their granny will have died at home or in a care home and they weren't allowed to be admitted to hospital? Are they still going to be thinking the government's doing a good job then? When they're not they'll be thinking, hang on a minute, you've got all this capacity. The only people who can think like this are the ones who have not been personally touched by this. But if the government keep doing this, they are massively increasing the number of people who are going to die. They are massively increasing the number of people who will know someone who've been stuffed over by this policy. So I don't really know how they think they're going to get away with it in the long term. But in the here and now, the reason why there isn't enough pressure on the government to do the right thing is because most people are buying their attempts to fiddle the figures. And this is why this Nightingale Hospital, which was really a triumph how quickly it was set up, is going to allow the government not to save lots of lives, but to doom lots of lives. And that's immoral. That is immoral. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, then please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.